Alright folks, installation video. Got the Assassin Spirit V20 or 120 V2. And now at the end of this, just to make it a plus model, we'll add a second fan that I have. Alright, so this is another identical cooler. That basically allows you to make it this one, which I'm going to send back. There's no point in having that exact same fan and having additional fans that I could make it again. So, all right, so we did an unboxing video. Let me get all the parts out. This isn't the unboxing. We do have instructions. I'll need to follow those on the English side. And we do have our glasses this time, folks. We have a screwdriver, a Phillips head. It's probably a number 2. So in the box, what we're going to need at some point, we'll need our fan. We will need the tower, okay? And you can go ahead and take the plastic strip off now. You may want to clean that off in case there's sticky residue on it. We need all this good stuff, plus a thing of thermal paste. Now, I'm probably not going to use the tube that came with it because I honestly want to use up some of my other stuff first. But you guys at home would want to use that one. Now, what do we have in this video? This is an Intel EVGA 1200 motherboard. So I'm going to need these brackets. I need this backing plate. Now, if I'm going to install this thing permanently, I would remove the tape. In my case, I'm not going to because I don't plan on keeping this installed very long. Matter of fact, this motherboard is going to get installed on an AM4 and then an AM5 and a EVGA 1700. Or the CPU cooler will be. All right. So we also have this bag of parts. We're going to need the black spacers and the 4 screws that are in the EVGA 1700, which means we need some scissors, folks. And I'm going to look around the table, see if I have all the proper gear that I need, and it looks like I do. So I'm not sure the automated camera is working today. Yeah, there we go. Auto tracking cameras can be good until the battery dies or starts to die. Then they ain't so great. So we got to get these screws out. And then we want to put the spacers for the other build back in the bag. I feel like we're missing something, but maybe not. And then we'll go ahead and open our black spacers up. Okay, so we got that. We need a CPU, one that's EVGA 1200. So this is a 10th and 11th gen CPU. So pull that back and up, and the CPU. I'm gonna check this with my glasses. So on the I/O shield, it's over here. Text reads left to right, so we can line it up that way. The plastic cover, if you have it installed, has a triangle there on the CPU, so those line up. So we'll just drop that in gently, and this can fit in only one way, folks, so I can't rotate it 45 degrees. Drop that down. Now, the plastic cover should pop off, and it did. That's good. All right, so we're good there. Now, this, folks, has to be set up for this motherboard. So I'm just going to flip this over. And oh yeah, got my Fortnite mouse pad here. Definitely try and have something underneath this so you don't scratch up your table. Not likely that you would damage your motherboard, but there's always the potential. All right, so 3 out of 4 are fitting. That means that this one is probably, so if you look at the back of these, that one's lined up with 11 LGA 1700. So it looks like I need to slide it down a little maybe. These should be all as far in as possible because 1700 has a bigger hole pattern. All right, so those are in. Now, a pro tip here, hold that with your hand and slide it in from the side of the table and it won't pop out. All right. At least hopefully it won't, but in this case, it's snagging. There we go. All right, so we still have that. Now, spacers, I'm just going to put the 2 down for right now. This guy is going to go like this. All right. So you need to grab a screw, and I'm going to finger tighten it at first, and then put that one down, finger tighten that one, and because I do this all the time, continue to finger tighten and use the Phillips. So like I said, there are multiple views of this. One to my left side, which appears that it's mirrored. Then we've got, in case you guys want to see me in action or a different angle, there's a forward-facing one, and then the overhead. Now, in some of my videos, I don't do a good job of getting an overhead view. And sometimes, honestly, you have to see all the different camera angles to fully tell what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to start tightening this one. Now I think these came with T4 paste, which is not their better paste. But to be honest with you, any thermal paste will do. Better quality is, I would say would be needed if you've got a higher TDP CPU, so one that could be overclocked. Not that this would be a good CPU cooler for overclocking a CPU, but if you have that one, then you'll want to use potentially better thermal paste. So you guys, this came with yours. You would use that. I'm just going to grab one out of my box or out of my bag here that is open. So I'm just going to put a blob right in the middle. Now, if you use too much, folks, the pressure should push it out over the CPU. That can make a bit of a mess. In reality, better to have too much thermal paste than not enough, from what I've seen. But what you can do is test this if you're not very good. There's enough thermal paste in there. You can put, something like that down, tighten this down, lift it up and see how it is. If it didn't spread all the way or you didn't have enough, you could add a couple daubs and, put it on there right away. Don't wait, 6 months from now and go, well, let me add some thermal paste, because you'll be mixing fresh stuff with old crap. All right. Now, like I said, if you wanted to clean this off, I don't have any cleaning supplies with me that should be used on this, but either way, this paper towel is better. And if I run the top of my finger over it, the stickiness is gone. Now, this CPU cooler, folks, is not offset. It's not perfectly symmetrical down, you know, across an imaginary plane there, but it doesn't matter on this one. And then if you look at it this way, it isn't offset either. So the graphics card, it's not even going to get close to the graphics card, really. So not a problem. If this was a 140 millimeter one, it would be another story. Now, another thing, folks, you know, if we look at this, when we put our cooler on, we've got plenty of RAM clearance, all right? So I'll be able to get that RAM in there, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, so I'm going to tighten this down. A couple threads, hopefully, on each side. And it feels like the left side was good. The right side is good too. So we'll just keep, you know, a couple threads. And why am I doing it this way? I want the thermal paste to spread across here evenly, all right? So we're just going to alternate. And now, depending on the view, folks, you may be able to see this a little better. All right. So, the CPU cooler, fan, intake side, exhaust, okay? So we want it to exhaust on this side. We want it to suck in air from this side. So the fan is going to be oriented like so. All right. Now our cable looks like it's going to reach from here. So we want to try and use our bracket to keep that cable locked in. So I'm going to do these one at a time, just because for the sake of holding on to the cable, it'll be easier. So we got that one in. Then we're going to come in and hook this in into those holes, and voila. Okay, so once again, intake side, exhausting out the outside towards the I/O shield or the rear vent in your case. Now, final step, folks, is to take our if I can find it. That wasn't supposed to happen. Our four pin, if you can get it out of here, and plug that in. Usually that doesn't happen like that. Okay. So on this case, the light gray is our where our 4-pin connector is going to go, and I'm just going to plug that in like so. All right. See how that's plugged in, and right there. All right. So that's it, folks, for the Assassin Spirit V2. All right. That was this one. What if we want to make it a V2 Plus? Might have a problem with this motherboard. Why is that? Because this one takes, this one only has one place for a CPU fan. So I'm going to check the box of the V2 Plus and see if they've included the proper attachment, and they did not, folks. So that's even more reason to send this back. They have not included the gizmo that you need to turn this into a V2 on this motherboard. So I'm going to pause for a second and grab that part. All right, so I'm back. So they don't give you this device, but this is what you need. This is going to take the one 4-pin and allow you to run 2 fans off of it. So this only has one spot for a CPU cooler. The next one's a case fan next to it. But let's go ahead and finish up this video. And I'm sorry that that took me a while there, but like everybody always tells me, oh, you should prepare a little better. But you know, the fact is, they don't give you the right equipment to do the job right. So for all cases, for some motherboards you'd be okay with what they sent. All right, so here is our other fan. Okay, same fan. These are both 1500 RPMs, and I'm going to run this one like so. So orientation wise, this is intake side, and I've got to hook this thing on from the back side, and hopefully that guy will fit in there. Usually we don't have this much problem. Oddly enough, though, we are having some problems. Okay, there we go. That one's in. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so this one, I'm going to try and hook it in here with the bracket so that it stays in place. And then we're going to lock this down as well. So I took my glasses off, folks, and that's part of the problem. Let me put my glasses on. All right, so we'll disconnect the 4-pin from the other fan, and hopefully you guys can see this in all of the views. This is from Noctua. You would be able to buy this. It's called a Y cable. These should be available on Amazon or some other brand. Thermalright probably sells one, because I know I've used a Thermalright. I have 2 other CPU coolers from them that include a Y cable. And then voila. Okay, so this is probably, honestly, the first time I could complain about Thermalright from, you know, what I've been getting from them. Otherwise, great product. All right, so once again, folks, we've gone 2 into this one, and then we're going to put it into the motherboard. And then you would use, you know, ties, do something with these cables so they don't look like an eyesore. But that's what that looks like. Try to get a good view there and that camera. And so, folks, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for checking out. Please like, please subscribe.